So I want to thank you all for joining me today after this long hiatus from You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. And I am excited about the guy who you see on the screen today, man, because, I mean, this is my dude. When I say this is my dude, I probably have said this before, but this is my dude. This is one of my good friends from Morehouse College. Somebody that when I went in 1987, we went in together. I'm from Chicago. He's from LA, Los Angeles in the house representing. And we had a transitional story. And then somehow, some way in 1994, May 22nd, my sister's birthday, me and this man crossed, like they want to say in the frats, the burning sands. We crossed on burning sands of Morehouse College and we got our degree. And there's a story that's behind all of that, but more than anything else, I'm just excited about the fact that I get a chance to introduce you all to my very, very good friend and somebody who I think is just a phenomenal person. This is my man, Larry Lewis. What's up, Larry?
What's up? What's up? Thank you, man. I appreciate you, my brother.
Yeah,
Honestly, yep,
yeah, man.
very much.
So, bruh, I mean, we've been. Okay, so you want what's funny? I got to tell this. So, I moved to LA in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
and we're at the Sweetwater concert. I think that was that the Greek.
Most likely,
I think it was at the Greek.
yeah.
I'm in the orchestra section, the front row. I mean, straight up front row. Erica Badu need to shave her legs for real.
Oh boy.
And then in one of the intermissions, and at the time of the concert, I was telling my wife it was like my first time in LA. She gets these great seats for this concert. It's like my first weekend in LA, and I'm like, man, this is great. I said the only thing that would make it greater if I saw my boy from school, if I saw my boy Larry. I get up during the intermission, I turn around, and who do I see? Middle of the section, standing up, and I was like, Larry,
That
dude, do you remember that?
was a while ago. I think
Bruh.
I'm trying to think what year that was, man. That
That
was a
was
minute.
that was '05.
Yeah. Okay.
That was 2005. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I must have just got back from Japan. It was back in the Japan days.
Bruh.
No, that was Spain. That was Spain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was Spain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Spoke you right up, man, and was so happy to see you, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. So, Larry, bruh, talk to me, man. What's going on, man? What's good?
The man, hey, it's like we've come a long way, right? Um, I played for a long time after Morehouse, about 19 years. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And through there were a lot of like basketball was a roller coaster ride. I played for a coach by the name of Eric Musselman. He's a coach at Arkansas right now.
Okay.
And when I retired, he was the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers G League team. So when I retired, my birthday, I was about a month away from my 40th birthday when I retired. So Eric was here, and then I'm talking to my wife. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? And so found out Eric was head coach, and I called him. We don't have anything right now, and I'll keep you in mind. And we got off the phone. We caught up a little bit, and got off the phone. He called me back like 20 minutes later. He said, "How far are you away from the gym?" So I said 15 minutes. He said, "All right." Hung up, got in the car, went to the facility, and I didn't know what was going to happen. He just
I was
told
about
me.
to say, what did you think was gonna happen, bro?
And so he he threw me in front of the team after their practice. He said, "I want you to work all these guys out. Not work them out, but take them through some drills after the practice." So I did what I thought I should do, and that is just take them through some shooting drills and that kind of thing. So eventually, he created a position there for me. So I worked for him that year, and then the next year, Reggie Theus was the head coach of the G League team. So I worked for Reggie that year.
Okay.
And the assistant general manager, you know, was like, "We want you on the Lakers NBA team now. We want you to be head of player development." So I interviewed with Mike D'Antoni and worked for the Lakers for Kobe's last 3 years. And then,
Stop.
yeah, Luke Walton came and, cleared house, brought a whole new staff in. My agent blessed me with an opportunity with the Sacramento Kings. I was there for 3 years. Luke Walton came again and cleared the staff, brought his whole new staff.
I mean, we're gonna have to talk to Luke, man.
and, so, and then
Give
it
me
got
his
late in the
number,
summer.
man.
Yeah. And so in the NBA, a lot of hires are done like, the summertime. So it got late in the summer, around August, and I didn't have another contract, and an opportunity came up at UC Santa Barbara. So right now, I've been at Santa Barbara for 3 years.
Amazing, man. So Larry, let's roll the tape back. I love the professional resume, and dude, that was some stuff I didn't even know, man. And just to say, my boy from college was doing it, 19 years and getting it in. Larry, take me back to freshman year at Morehouse. Were you recruited by Morehouse to play ball?
No, I wasn't recruited by anyone out of high school. So I was about 6'3", 185 pounds when I graduated high school.
Or where'd you go? Where'd you go to high school?
I went to LA High. I graduated from LA High.
Okay.
And so, my parents, my mom's from Tuskegee, Alabama. My dad's from Columbus, Mississippi. So my mom went to Tuskegee Institute at that time. It's now Tuskegee University. So she went there, and she also went to Tennessee State. Got a master's from Tennessee State. My dad went to Howard University. He got his master's from University of Denver. So they were familiar with the HBCU experience, and they knew I loved basketball, but they said, you're going to get an education. And so we applied to the schools. I got accepted to Morehouse, and went to school there in the first 2 years. It was a funky good time.
Bruh,
It was a
just
funky
like
good
my,
time.
I
You
should know.
know,
We was
it was
hanging.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And, we had a lot of fun, and it's like my parents. I really feel like I was raised by two angels. Really good. I mean, my dad was a psychiatric social worker. My mom was a social worker for the government, and
Wow.
so they were professional people, right, from the South. Born and raised in LA. I was
Uh huh.
born and raised in LA, but their roots were in the South. So I'm in tune with what manners are. I know about manners, right? So when I went to Morehouse, I kind of felt the freedom. Um, it felt like there were all these forward thinking brothers and sisters,
Come on, bro.
beautiful people from beautiful families. There was an underlayer of no matter what was going on, everybody wanted to be something, positive in life, right? So, but I had a lot of fun those first couple of years, but also I kept playing basketball because I always loved basketball. And I was getting better and better because I played intramurals, played in the park, and there was a family that took me in, Kilgore family.
Okay. Okay.
Rodney and Shirley Kilgore and their son,
Yeah.
Sean Kilgore, went to Morehouse as well. But my roommate, Bernard Parks, went to Mays High School where my friend Sharon's mom taught. And so I met Sharon. I met this family through Bernard Parks, my roommate in Graves Hall. And
Okay.
that family took me in, and his dad, right, used to take me out on the court, and I needed to get tough. So he would toughen me up out there. And so those first 2 years, while it felt wild and it was wild, but there was a lot of productivity going on, a lot of very productive time spent on and off campus. And I grew about 3 inches those first 2 years. So my junior year, I was about 6'6", right? Still played. But what happened was after the season, there was some guy, we were playing pickup basketball in the gym, and some guys from the team were in there.
Archer Hall, baby. Archer
Yes, sir. You
Hall.
already know.
You
And the
already
place used to
know.
rock. Their place used to rock. I mean,
Come on, man.
that's a blast from the past.
What
But
was
those
that? What was
guys,
that? What was that summer? What year was that summer?
this had to have been let's see,
So 87, 2 years, 89. So are you?
90.
So 90. Okay,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
I was already
90.
gone. Okay.
Yeah, I think 89 summer, 89 summer. And so, but after that season, those guys were like, man, why don't you try out for the team? Oh, let's do something. You know what I mean? And so the next year I tried out, which was actually my junior year,
Yeah.
right? And so, but you have 5 years of eligibility. So you have 5 years to play four. So I got that year. I walked on, earned a scholarship, and we did a lot of good on the team. We won a lot. It was like a
Oh, bro,
party.
you can't
Um,
you can't gloss over that, man. You can't you. We got to dig down into that one, man. Come on, man. So Larry, like, look, I remember I remember our freshman year. I remember we were hooping a little bit, and you were the first person that gave me a pair of Jordans. I don't know if you remember that, but I was
mhm.
like, all right, I'm from Chicago, dude. I probably should have had Jordans but my mother would not let me get them. She's like, nah, you gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna take them. You gave me my first pair of Jordans, man. The moon boot joints. The moon boot joints. But the thing I remember, man, at that time, like I know that you said that there was a love for basketball, but did it take precedence at that time for you? Like early on, before you decided that you were going to really push forward and join the team, like what took precedence for you earlier on? And then when did you find, I guess, the cliche say, when did you find that love of basketball, man?
Okay, so and here's a very strong message in this evolvement, this string of events that had to do with me becoming a professional basketball player. And this is that after I wasn't recruited out of high school because of my size, I knew I was undersized. I knew, guys were getting scholarships. It didn't happen. I'm going to school for academics now to get a degree. I thought it was over. Like, okay, that's it for basketball. I probably won't play organized basketball again. I'm just going to go to school. And when you're a part of a team and you're playing organized basketball, you're part of a system. There are certain things that separates you from everybody else. Not everybody, but you're a student athlete now. And so you have to be in practice at a certain time. You have to be um, at a certain place at a certain time. You can't be here, you can't be there. And there's just this structure in your life. So when I didn't have that anymore, no wonder I went to school and was like, I'm good, you know.
Right,
So,
right.
and as a young man, if you love basketball, and there's a message that I have for young athletes that feel like it's not happening for them, because that can really be brutal to a young man's mind and a young girl's mind. An athlete who loves a sport, who's passionate about the sport, and they give their all to improve, to practice, they dedicate. Parents spend a lot of money on training and traveling and all that stuff. And then you hit what seems to be a wall, and it looks like you have no future in that, but you still love it. And you still put a lot of time into it. You still practice a lot. You dedicate it a lot. No, I can't go to this party tonight. No, I got to get up and go to this game or whatever. You have all of that tattooed into your spirit. And it just doesn't go away just because someone didn't recruit you or someone didn't let you be a part of a team. That doesn't touch your passion for the game or your love for the game. It's not a light switch. And so when you have all that and then the door is closed in your face, um, it's not the easiest thing to deal with.
Like, how did you handle that? I mean, because that's a part of that 2 year period before you got on the team. It's like you're there at school, and you just, you're there. You know,
Yeah, yeah, and that's when you get really social. You start to, embrace the freedom of, conversing with members of the student body, no matter where you're from. You're friendly. You're very inviting to a different life in a different world. You don't have to express the discipline you had to express previously. And I got a little wild. You know what I mean? I had a ball. I had fun. Um, I got a lot out of my system in college, which probably is a very good thing. Um, I've been married for 20 years just because I got a lot of the foolishness out of my system. And, like there are things that people are a part of these days, the party life and the this and that. I'm
come
like,
on, man,
man, I
come
did
on.
it in Atlanta, dude. You don't understand. You know what I mean? This is like, man, it's like, please, Anyway, I don't want to turn this into
All I gotta say is Lord Manley Spellman. Enough said.
I mean,
Those parties
that,
were epic.
yeah, but the caliber of women
Oh,
there.
bruh. 16 to
Clark,
1.
yeah, you have Spellman right there, you have Clark, and Morris Brown was still thriving and kicking
Come
back
on,
then
man.
too.
Come on. Say
You know
less.
what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was a big, it was a big, it's a university, right? But it's the center,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
was the center, the AU center. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean? And so, when you have that kind of experience around that many professional young people, because that's how I look at us as students now, we were professional young people, right? And all the other stuff was going to manifest after college, right? And I actually thinking back, I really loved being around all my brothers and sisters and everyone I was able to connect with and have fun with and just smile with and talk to and learn from and share with. That stuff. Even people that I just say what's up to on the regular. You know what I mean? That was really fun. And I bring up the social aspect because we all need an outlet, right? And like in my case, as a basketball player in high school, and then going to school and going to college and wasn't a basketball player, it was good to express the social part of life and enjoy it amongst that group of people, that
Right.
level of thinking.
Right.
That
Right.
was fulfilling,
Right.
and I needed it.
Oh, bruh. Say less. You know, it's funny because we both came in at the same height, same weight. You play ball, I play tennis. And, the passion for, because when I was in high school, I played high school tennis. We were city champs every year that I was there. We placed in states, all that kind of stuff, man. And so you're right when you talk about a team aspect and being a part of the team and just that regiment and something like that. And then when I got, and it's funny because you helped me now to frame that. When I got there and I didn't really, I didn't get a chance to get on the team. I didn't get a chance to really be a part of that. And I was just kind of going through, essentially through life, being social, being of that aspect to get
Yeah,
that again that out of my system.
yeah,
I remember that time period of just being, as my boy Steve Weatherall from LA would say, he's like, man, you the good time dude. Like, if we want to have a good time, we go find Dan. Dan is always going to do something. Like, it's always going to be good. My cousins call me Ferris Bueller because we gonna get into something, and
that's funny.
so the that I think that was medicine for me, but there was still a yearning for me to be a part of something, and I just didn't get a chance to manifest that. And I was in the band. I don't know if you remember that. I used to be in the marching band at Morehouse, man, and so I played tuba, and that was fun, and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't sports. It wasn't that student athlete wasn't a part of my moniker, and that was tough for me. And I remember just grade sliding, going out, and after 2 years, I was gone, Larry. That's the reason why I was gone. Grades was down. I couldn't stay. Dr. Keefe, Leroy Keefe, told me, he's like, man, Dan, it looked like you enjoyed yourself for a couple of years. You got to go back home and get your grades together. You can't be here, and that was tough to have the president of the college tell you that, because I went to everybody. I was like, come on, y'all got to give me another chance, give me another chance. That was hard. So I found myself, Larry, at that time really kind of pointing fingers at others and not taking responsibility for my own actions. Tell me about that time period for you. What was going on?
Um, so I really didn't know what I was doing. Um, I didn't know the opportunity I had, and I didn't know how delicate it was. So I think when we get on our knees and we give thanks, um, it's like we thank God for shielding us from the traps of, life and college and, the big city that we were able to be protected from. Um, I was just kind of going through the motions. Nothing, the thing about it is I went from, and it kind of felt like as a basketball player in high school, you go from caring about something and having something to really respect outside of, just life. You have this sport and this team and this coach and this school that you really, really represent.
Oh yeah.
And so when you don't have that, at least me, there's a difference in mindset. Because now it's like, now what is there extra? You have yourself, you have your friends, and you have school, right?
Yep.
There's no one paying to come see you sit in the dorm. There's no one
Wow.
paying to come see you eat in the cafeteria, right? People pay to come see a game. And when
Yes.
you are performing in that game, that means something, whether you pay attention to it or not, right? You're doing something significant. When you're not a part of that, you kind of feel free. I felt free and like I didn't really have as much responsibility, right? So I didn't feel um, that I needed to take myself as serious, maybe, right? So there are a lot of mental things going on, and a lot of these messages that we express, but sometimes we don't know we're expressing them. But that's exactly what's going on, right? The invitation to try out for the team was intriguing because, like I said, I thought it was over. And why wouldn't I think it would be over,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean?
It's hey, listen. Morehouse is enough to just get into the school, but now you talking about playing on the team, and you are a cat from L.A. You ain't from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi. You're not from the South. So for you to come in and get that impact, and you the dude from LA. So you remember, oh man, my guy from Chicago.
Dada,
No, Dotto was from DC. Oh, it's gonna come back to me in a minute. He played for, I think it was either CVS or Simeon.
on the
Anthony,
squad.
Anthony, Anthony. It'll come to me anyway. Anthony was a high school star in Chicago. They didn't give him no love. They were like, oh, it don't mean nothing to us. It's like if you were from somewhere else and they didn't recruit you.
Yeah.
Anthony Thompson. You remember Ant Live?
Oh,
Anthony. Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's in LA now. I see
he's
him.
in LA now.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
man.
And you remember,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ant can,
yeah.
Ant can
And I
ball.
know. Yeah. Nice sized kid too.
Right. Didn't get on the team. And we all came in as freshmen together. If you remember that. Didn't get on the team. So when we found out the crew, and I'll talk about the crew from Chicago and who knew you and all that kind of stuff. When we found out you got on the squad, like, man, Larry made it. What? Oh my goodness. We were excited. My boy, my roommate, my boy Marcus Nash, man, we talked about you all the time because we always said, man, this dude is like the second coming. How many times you get a chance to see a player, and yeah, I'm a size you up, man, because you are that dude. A left hand and a right hand can take you either way. Can take you off the dribble. Can hit you on the J. I mean, just a complete player all around. You don't find that very often. Some people, hey, he's good for just shooting threes. He's good at gym. You got it all, the complete package. And so knowing that was from when we used to ball at Archer. Man, I used to love running with you, bro. I used to, man, dude. I'm running with Larry. Oh, dude, all I got to do is just throw it up there. He gonna get it. I had no problem. As long as I'm in the right space, he gonna find the ball gonna hit me. All I got to do is just do all I got to do. So it was fun, kind of, and enjoyable playing with you, playing with Anthony Thompson. I mean, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
so again, basketball wasn't my thing. I mean, I enjoyed playing it, but tennis was always my thing. But getting a chance to play with you guys, y'all, you made me understand and see the game. But then to know that you took that step and that next level, so the hard work that you talked about, that that family that adopted you, getting that opportunity for us, we knew that that was rare. Like, you weren't recruited. You weren't the cats like Winfrey and all these cats who come from, Flo had to come from another school, but he got on.
Yeah.
You, whatever you did over that summer, and they were like, nah, man, Larry, we got to have you. You, your time and effort and that passion came through, and that's what really was seen. McAfee, right? Coach McAfee.
Yeah.
It was no joke, man. I remember sitting down and talking to him,
Right.
and he was brutally honest,
Right.
and but I wanted to play for Mac, but Bruce, you got a chance to play for Mac, man. And so let's take it to now you're on the squad.
Yeah.
What is life like? Or did I miss something? Did I miss something?
So well, no, let's get to that. I want to bring something up. You know, at the right time, certain people are placed in your life.
Come on.
And Morehouse, there was a gentleman by the name. I talked about the family that took me in, the Kilgore family. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Ronnie Kilgore, it took me on the court and got me tough during those 2 years. And Lady K, his wife Shirley Kilgore, right? She was the mom. That's mom. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so
Right.
she
Oh yeah.
she made all the food, and Sharon had his car, and we'd roll out. They lived out, from Atlanta, so they, they were placed in my life. But there was a gentleman by the name of Paris Johnson.
Hmm.
Now, Paris is from Oakland, from Bay Area. So Paris, we chop it up. But Paris told me he really influenced me as well to go out and make the team. Don't just go out, make the team and do what you do, you know? And I mean, he's a brother on campus, you know
Right.
what I mean? He was like, he was one of the few students though, outside of the basketball team members of the postseason situation,
Yeah.
and pick up, he was one of the few students that were like, listen, like pulled me to the side and was like, listen, you have a chance. Don't play no games with this.
Right. Right.
You got something, right? And it doesn't matter what happened your freshman and sophomore year anymore. That's over. Now you have a chance to do something, make the team, and do what you do and represent. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And so, you know, he was one of the important people on campus, right? That really, you know, gave me something really happy to look forward to, because he showed me as a student, as one of the young brothers on Morehouse campus, that he believed in me. The family that took me in, these are grown folk. They've been around the block. You know what I mean?
They already know.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
this young brother on campus, man. You know what I mean? And he was like, now after I made the team, I got a lot of support. It was like, you know what I mean? There were people like, that really started to support in a big way. Right. But when I made the team, so Grady Brewer, who was the assistant coach at that time,
Coach Brewer.
Coach Brewer passed.
Yeah.
I want to say a couple years
A couple
ago,
years ago. Yep.
and so he was he was the real force behind that team. Coach McAfee was like the grandfather. He had been there for years. He was established. Coach Brewer was that push, that locomotive. You know what I mean? He was that guy, right? And so when I made the team, he told me that he said one of the reasons he told the whole team this. He said one of the reasons why Larry's making this team is because in the beginning you can't touch the ball. NCAA, you can't touch the ball, right? So we go out to the track. Moses, right? We go out to
That's
the
right,
track.
baby.
Yeah,
Edwin Moses track, baby.
yeah, and he'd make us run.
8 lanes.
Man, and he would make us run, and it was tough.
Man.
My parents, I grew up on the track. My dad used to run like 5 to 7 miles every morning, except Saturday.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I grew up on the track. I was ready for that, you know. And he said he didn't complain. He did everything I asked, and he did it to a certain level, right? And he's not even talking about basketball. This is not basketball. This is character now,
That's it. That's all it
right?
is.
And so every team has a culture, right? So when I made the team, we started practicing. Now remember, first 2 years, I'm Mr. Free, go lucky, whatever happens, happens. Now I have this structure back. And I wasn't expecting that, right? But when it hit, there was this like, I still was living the free life too, though. You know what I mean?
Like it was a balance now.
There now, and so now it's like, wow, I started this college life for 2 years, and now I'm part of the team, and now I have like kind of like the best of both worlds. But then there came a time where you're not gonna be able to live the best of both worlds, and so I got serious because we put some banners up.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
bruh.
we
I,
making some noise, right?
hey, man. If there's one thing I can say about the time that I was there, man, and even when the time that I came back, man, I enjoyed going to Morehouse College basketball games. Our football games were football games. I'm not poo-pooing on them at all. But there were certain teams that I knew that when they came into town or that y'all were playing, dude, I'm going to be there because I know it's going to be a show. And so, one of the teams is Lemoyne on.
Oh yeah,
Oh, bruh.
yeah,
The gym was packed for Lemoyne on. And people like, Lemoyne on? It doesn't matter.
right. Memphis, yep.
Dude, I have seen I've seen some great games, professional games, the whole night, but them Lemoyne on games, oh, bro. I don't even. I think there was some time where y'all weren't even listening to the coach. Y'all was just running,
Yeah, yeah,
running,
yeah.
and scoring and have. I mean, dude, it was a. If I could have been around during the Lakers time during the Lake Show, that's what it seemed like to me, man. It was go, 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 go. No stop, no pause. Go,
Right,
go, go.
right.
And you were an integral part of that. Like you, honestly, man, you put the showtime into being at those games, man. Because there is I think there's something that is pure about the game, but there's something pure about people who take it and it comes naturally to them and it's passionate that shows. Dave Dada is another cat like that, man. Dave Dada is Dave has been on the show, man, and
Nah, nah.
he was a person that kind of influenced me to stay on that path. When I came back, he's like, man, you ain't going back home. You don't get that degree and come on and make it on out of here. And I used to run at Archer with him.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I used to run at Archer with him, man. And Dave is the person that really kind of taught me another level of love for basketball. Was there somebody on the team that you kind of looked up to and just enjoyed getting knowledge from them?
He's one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I'm wondering if he is the one that asked me to try out.
Dave has that influence, man. He's in Atlanta now. He's coaching in
Coaching in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
He's
Yeah,
coaching
yeah,
in
yeah.
Atlanta, man.
I'm gonna hit him up. We talk sometimes. But so Harold Richard Winfrey
Yep.
they're from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Roderick Stubbs. I mean, there were guys on the team that were there. Stewart, Big Stu,
Mm-hmm.
guys that were there. Flo came later,
Yep.
right? Jizz came later. But the Atlanta crew was there and they were set.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Grady Brewer, who was the assistant coach then. He
Mm-hmm.
used to run us, right? We used to run suicides. We used to run. I remember we played at Georgia Tech. Clark, I think we played Clark at Georgia Tech. One of those times, right?
Yep.
And
It
so
was Clark.
yeah, and so we were running and we were playing and they were hanging and then we started pulling away and then so there was a foul and so me and Harold on the line and one of their one they I looked at them, they're grabbing their shorts. I said, Harold, they're tired. They're tired. Let's go. You know what I mean? And the feeling, and that right there, see, for the rest of my career, I knew that if you prepare in a certain way, right, when it comes down to it, if there's any inkling that your competition didn't prepare to your level, you were going to do big things. And that was a lesson behind that. You know what I mean? That was a great feeling because I mean, no one likes to run. But in that moment right there, I was like, oh, that running is giving us an advantage here. And we're on a big stage. I mean, Georgia Tech, that's a big arena.
It's a big arena.
That's a big arena. Student bodies out, a lot of people are there.
You guys also played Clark at the Omni.
At the Omni,
That was
that was
that was
another one.
another big game.
Yeah, that was another one, right?
Uh,
And so,
that was you on the back page of the Atlanta Journal Constitution dunking on.
that
Yes, sir.
was so fun, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that
But
was
but
cool.
that's that preparation, man, that you've been talking about. That preparation.
Yeah, you win in preparation. You pass the test in study hall, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You succeed in the preparation, in the meditation, in the prayer, right? But I remember I left Morehouse and I went and played after my last year of eligibility. I went and played in the Dominican Republic. I left school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went and played in the Dominican Republic, and that was my first like professional um, experience. And it was beautiful because for the first time I got paid to do something I love to do
Mm-hmm.
and was treated like a professional. And there was a different kind of meaning to it
How
because
so?
now you don't know who's in the crowd now.
Mm-hmm.
I could look in the crowd and see you, Dan.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I could look in the crowd and see my roommate, maybe. You never know, right? But in this experience, like I went to a foreign country, I didn't know anybody there. There are people and
Mm-hmm.
cheering for you. So it just felt different. And then they pay you. So that experience was different. I came back to Atlanta and my godmother, Shirley Kilgore, that family I was telling you about that brought me in,
Mm-hmm.
she said, listen, because both of my parents and that family got really tight. My
Mm.
parents and everything and Sharon's parents were tight. So she said, listen, you're doing your thing now. You know what I mean? You're playing basketball. She said, get your degree for your mom, for your parents. Because at that moment, you have a professional experience. You build on top of that experience because now your agent can say, look, he played here, he did this. You know what I mean? You can get the new job. She said, If it's not for you, get it for your mom, your dad. And that's why we walked the stage together that year, Dan. And then I started to play in the summer leagues in Atlanta, in the USBL. I played for Eric Musselman in the USBL as well. And then I played for the G League was called the CBA back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's
so
old.
the
That's
Pan
old
American,
too.
yeah, the Pan American Games was the team was taken from the CBA that year. It was in Argentina,
Okay.
no Plata,
Okay.
yeah. And so we went over there and played in the Pan American Games, which was really good, really cool, right? And then I started playing in these summer leagues, and then I played in Cyprus, and then I went to Japan for 5 years, Argentina and Spain. And it was just, I had to make up my mind though before I left Morehouse that I'm going to play basketball. And so I had a life changing decision to make, and it wasn't a life changing decision as what I'm going to do after basketball. It's a life decision to make that was relevant to who am I going to be now that I'm going to be a professional basketball player? I'm going to pursue this, right? What do I have to cut away from my life? What do I have to stop doing? Who do I have to stop being around? And what habits do I have to pick up to really dedicate myself and do this? That was a conscious decision.
Larry, I'm glad that you brought that up, man, because I have a question, man, for you. So I remember, I think it was summer of '94, either summer of '94 or '95, and if I'm not mistaken, man, you got a chance to trial for the Bulls.
And the Hawks. That's right. That's right.
Tell me, tell me about that opportunity with the Bulls. That's my team, because all I remember was I remember we got in contact with each other, but I didn't get a chance to see you. And then I'm looking up, and you were telling me that you're trying out for him, and then I got read in the newspaper. This dude by the name of Trent Tucker was selected,
Yes.
and Marcus Nash and I were like, "Are you all kidding me?
Yeah.
Y'all picked Trent Tucker over Larry Lewis?" If the compliment to that team would have been somebody who could feel the role of being a part of a great running team, you had it. Because honestly, man, and I'm not typecasting you, but you were a Scottie Pippen kind of player for me, man. You again another player who had a left and a right, a jumper, could go down the lane, could dribble the whole nine, with just that and lanky and just long and but strong. I was like, man, could you imagine Money, Pip, and Jordan running it? And that's what me and Marcus were talking about. And we were like, oh man, I hope he gets it, man. I hope he gets it. And then to see Trent Tucker, it was like one of them things like, are you kidding me, man? Are y'all kidding me? So I know how I felt as a friend and a fan, but I don't know how that felt like for you.
So remember, after high school, I thought it was over.
Right.
Okay. All of this happened in the span of 3 years, right? First 2 years, growth, basketball, not nothing structure, and then the walk on, right? So to be invited felt like the glory, right? Trent was already a veteran in the league. Um, Now, I say that to say this: physically, I was at a certain level that, I mean, after that experience, and you go a few years down the line, physically, I got much, much more advanced. Like it was just, yeah. I got to a level that it was surprising to me myself, because God puts people in your life, and they take you to the next level, right? So to be invited was, a big deal, but I wasn't there mentally yet. Yet. So we're talking about transformations, right? Now imagine the mind and the shift. You go from playing, you're one size graduating high school, and then you go to school and you start this whole nother life. That's basically what it was, a whole nother life for 2 years. You grow, but growing, I wasn't saying I'm growing because I'm gonna, try out for the team. If that player didn't invite me to try out for the team, I probably wouldn't even thought about it. Right. So now I go from, a college student to now a student athlete. That's a mental shift. Right. And now I'm playing on the team for 3 years. And what we did, right, as players, as a team for the school, for Morehouse College was huge, right?
Yes, sir.
The mental shift, all this stuff is going on. And then I get invited to the Atlanta Hawks camp. I also get invited to the Chicago Bulls camp. All this is going on, and it was nowhere close to what I thought was a reality. So I'm going through it, but I'm not looking at it as something that I could really take advantage of, because I didn't know how to look at it that way.
Okay.
It was just a part of, what was happening. But what the reality of it was, there's no limit to what you can be. And the door slammed in your face after high school, but it was opened up again. So you need to open up with that door. But I didn't know that.
Okay.
And when I say open up with that door, that means don't put any limits on anything, right? You're back in the sport now, right? And it doesn't have to stop at Morehouse, because that's another limitation, right? It was over. Now I'm able to make the Morehouse team. Wow, that's great. This is really, really cool. Playing professionally was not in the thought process at all.
Right. But there the opportunity lay. The
There's an
door was
opportunity.
open.
Yeah, so you get invited to these NBA camps, and I didn't really feel like I was invited to make the team. I really didn't know what was going on.
You're just going along for the ride.
Going along for the ride, but if you look at the maturity level that I would have had to have, right? It would have taken some serious conversations with some people that know and have insight into this process, right?
Okay.
And that didn't happen at all. And that's not an excuse. That's just the reality of what it was. I mean, it's just, you know, like you had to have a conversation with somebody to say you're gonna get back on track, right?
Steve Weatherall.
The conversation had to be had.
The conversation had to be had.
Right.
And it was the coldest question in the world.
Yeah.
What? So, what's that going to look like when you graduate from the University of Illinois Circle campus, and your parents still got Morehouse College stickers on their car? He said, "Dan, you need to finish what you start." That's the reason why I came back. Like your man encouraged you to play Parrish. Like he encouraged you to play for the team.
Paris Johnson, yeah.
It was Steve Weatherall that convinced me to really come back to Morehouse. I hadn't even talked to Sterling Hudson. It was a spring break.
Yeah.
Spring break 91.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when I came back around.
Yeah. And these messages touch us.
Bruh. I mean, to this day, I think I have told that one thing to thousands of students or young people. Finish what you start. Don't be incomplete.
Mm.
Finish what you start. No matter how hard or difficult or easy you think it, finish what you start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so, after that experience, Eric Musselman worked for Doc Rivers with the Orlando Magic. He invited me to their summer league camp, and I made that team for the summer league in LA at the Pyramid.
Okay.
So And that's how I got my job in Cyprus.
Wow.
The head coach was at the games. But see now I have some different experiences. You know what I mean? And after that, my next NBA experience was with Byron Scott and the New Jersey Nets.
Wow.
Now I knew what time it was.
So that's like Kerry Kittles. Was he
He was on the team.
J
Yeah.
Kid?
J Kidd was on the team. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh
Wow.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean that was their playoff team.
That was.
And here's what happened. Eric Musselman again. Now he's
Okay.
with the Atlanta Hawks. And so he brings me to that summer league team, but that's not in LA, that's in Boston. And so now I put on a buy. I started working with these trainers. God puts people in your life. I started working with
Okay.
these trainers. I got a brand new body, right? I think differently because I've had some experiences now. And now I know that this is real. Basketball is real. You know what I mean? All the professionalism is real. It can
Mm-hmm.
go to places that we couldn't even imagine. So Byron Scott was at one of the games and I was playing. And after the game, he told me he was going to invite me to vet camp. I turned down a job overseas
Okay.
to
To
give
play
my
for another team.
because my trainer said, listen, I was about I turned 30 in Japan. This was after Japan. So I was about maybe 32 years old, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So my trainers were like this, like, listen, we don't care about your age. You know what I mean? They said, we're here to make history. They said, here's an opportunity for you to get in front of some people. And by the way, Dan, I'm a late bloomer, right?
Okay.
If the story doesn't say 6'3", 185 out of high school, and now I'm 6'7", I'm a late bloomer.
Hey, bro.
I'm,
6'5" when I was at I went from 6'3" to 6'5" in college.
yeah. See,
Yeah.
late bloomers.
Late
So
bloomer.
yeah, but the trainers believed in and they spoke a language that I didn't speak, but I was humble enough to share in that belief system with them and not rebel against it, right? So went for it, vet camp, and was the last cut. So um one of the coaches for a Spanish team was at one of the sessions at vet camp because he wasn't working at that time. Listen to this. So he was there. I made the last cut. I get cut. The team in Spain fired their coach, hired that coach that was at our session, and he brought me in.
Wow. So
Right.
the next job you don't get, you get cut. Next thing you know, you hear from this dude from Spain.
Because he was there at that session. The team in Spain fired their coach, hired him. This happened all within the next week. He brought me over from what he saw in that vet camp.
I
Right.
know this is cliche, but won't he do it?
Man,
Won't he do it?
man. And
Bless
then
your life. And you didn't even
yeah,
know.
yeah. But see, that's what I talk about. Like when I got a lot of the stuff out of my system at school, right? There was no time for that foolishness now. You know what I mean? Of
Oh yeah.
dedicated to the sport. There's no time for that.
Oh yeah.
And that because you get wild in the NBA or you get wild as a professional athlete, that's a different kind of wilderness.
Bruh, say
That's
less.
different. That's
Say
it gets
less.
yeah, it gets to a different level. But anyway, you know, it was beautiful, man. And I tell young people when I talk in front of groups of kids or whatever, when the door looks like it's closed, don't believe it, right? It might that door may not be closed. I talk to them about that. What it looks like, it might not be. If you love something and you're passionate about something, right? Feed it, feed it, right? I like to speak to kids all over the world. I'm not doing that right now, but I speak to kids for free when I can, you know? Uh,
And what you have to tell a man is from the heart. It's truly genuine, it's authentic, and it's credible. It's not like you, somebody who's off the street who just, who's never experienced it. You have a plethora of stories and experiences that really kind of can be obvious to anybody that says you don't know what's around that corner.
Yeah, yeah, but you better respect it.
Come on.
I tell you, we used to work out with Kobe Bryant, man, and
Mamba mentality.
there was no smiling, no talking, no. This is so serious. He may say like slide down a little bit, improve the angle on that pass or something like that. But there was no. I mean, when I talk the level of focus, right? Like if Kobe came into the building and wasn't saying nothing to nobody, that's because his mission was to put rings on his finger. And it takes a level of deep focus to really, really do that. And all the laughing and joking and the conversation, sometimes there's no room for that because I'm focused today. I got something to work on. There's something and I know what it takes to get that. And we're not there yet. So I'm here today to make a difference and get closer to that. I don't have time to speak to everybody in the locker room or in the players' lounge, or I don't feel like talking. I feel like thinking about what I need to get done today. And some people aren't comfortable with that, right?
And that's his mentality. That's the way that he goes about, his business. What was that like for you? What was your mentality
It was
when you're playing in Spain or when you were in Japan, and what was that like for who were you, Larry Lewis, when you were on those teams? What could somebody say from the other side and say, yeah, that's Larry?
Well, first of all, let's take Japan for example,
Okay.
right? So Japan is like another planet, you know,
Yeah.
like another planet. And so when you're taken away from your familiarity and you're immersed into a whole nother culture, right? It becomes more than just going somewhere to play basketball, right? You have to be very accepting and you have to join hands with the energy of where you are.
Unpack that a little bit for me.
So let's say I like Jamba Juice. There was no Jamba Juice in Japan. I gotta let that go. So I have to actually stop looking for or wanting to that level what I'm used to. And I have to open up to what I do have access to. And that grows you. It exposes you to different things and you decide uh to become one with it. And it's okay.
Embrace those surroundings and those differences and find where you fit in.
Yeah. Or find where you don't fit in and deal with it,
Okay.
right? Because it really has nothing to do with what you want, right? You take what's there because what's there becomes beautiful to you if you let it. You know what I mean? Learn to accept people for who they are. Like, it used to get on my nerves being stared at.
And I can imagine, man, in Japan, here you are walking around 6'6". Average Japanese person is not that tall.
No,
So you're gonna stick out above the crowd. I know whenever I've walked anywhere. When I was in Spain, it was weird like that.
right,
You
right. It
just
makes sure.
just okay, and then everybody got. How did you handle people staring at you? I know how I didn't like it, but then I learned to embrace it.
What I asked myself was, I said, what would make me stare at somebody? I mean, you know, and it's either something you really, really enjoy, or it's something that's so strange to you that you're smitten for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And both are understandable.
Yeah.
And so I had to become bigger than that. And when I say bigger than that, it's not bigger than, someone staring at you or catching someone staring at you. It's bigger than letting that affect my mood.
There it is.
Someone staring, okay, you wouldn't know they're my mom used to tell me, you won't know they're looking at you if you're not looking at them, you know, which I got to the point where I could feel someone staring at me. Hey, look, and I hit them like this. I'll be looking away and I'll be like, they're staring at me. I know they are. And then all of a sudden I'll do one of these. Boom. And I'll look and I'll catch them and they'll be like, and I said, then I feel bad. I'm like, why you do that?
uh,
They
you
let them one.
you know who made me feel comfortable about my height was my cousin Dave Gamlin. Dave, I was at visiting his house with my cousin Donna and Dave, and I walked into the room. We were going into the family room, and I walked in, but I walked in and I was slouching and I had my head down because there was family and friends sitting in the dining room, and as soon as I walked in, everybody kind of just did this, like I was on spotlight, and I was just like, oh man, here we go. And
Yeah.
he came and sat next to me. He said, Dan, I just noticed something about you, and I've seen it happen before. I just wanted to ask you. He said, why do you cower and slouch down when you walk in the room? I said, I don't like people staring at me because I feel like something's wrong with me. Like you're looking at me and there's something that I got a booger in my nose, my hair out of place, and my clothes, something is going on. And he said, Dan, the reason why people look at you more than anybody else is because there is an attraction to height,
Mm.
either being very tall or very short. People's eyes automatically go towards that. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, if you walk in knowing that they're attracted to height, then don't ever cower down and shrug your shoulders and try and shrink away from it. Man, rear your shoulders back and stand there with some pride.
Uh-huh.
He told me that in high school. And dude, it has never left me. I
Yeah.
walk in any room and man, my shoulders are back,
Yeah.
head is up, and I smile at, like you say, I know you're looking at me. I smile at you because I know you're looking at me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the questions, like my other cousin Marva, her name is Marva Hanks, but she was Marva Fuller when she played for University of Iowa women's basketball, and Marva's 6'6". And Marva, when she walks in the room, she's beautiful like a model, man. But the same thing. It's the questions that we always get because we talk. How's the weather up there?
Yeah.
And it's the stuff I get tired of. And so I have a plethora of answers for people.
Right.
I'm, oh my God, really? You're so tall. I say, I'm really not that tall. It's a trick done with mirrors.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of,
Yeah.
I said, I have on platform shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Just any kind of thing to just kind of throw it off because, or I just simply smile and say, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
That's it.
And
That's it.
keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing though, man. Sometimes when men stare, I'm like, man, this man staring's got to stop. Stop man staring, bro. Cut it out. It's like, all right. But even then, you just let it go. Whatever.
Hey, I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So,
So,
so Larry, let me ask you this, man. If when you talk to young people, man, what is something that they walk away with? What is something that you've said to them that has been a rock that they can hold on to and just and keep repeating it from that experience of talking with you or listening to what you had to say? What is something that you've said to help them just kind of overcome some things?
um, the three C's.
Tell me about the three C's, bro.
So, like basketball players and this is especially going from like college to the professional level, or even high school to college. Like I was saying, like when a player can't play and they're not getting an opportunity, or they're not able to express themselves in the sport, it can wound them, and and it can be very bruising. The ego can be bruised, and the confidence and all that. And so what I do is, even players on the team, right, who aren't getting playing time, right?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. And so what I want them to do is understand their powers. Okay. Even in the NBA, there are players that don't play and it gets to them. Yeah, they're getting paid, but hey, listen, if all I want to do is get paid, you know what I mean? Like I'm a basketball player. They want to play, they want minutes,
I want to
right?
hoop.
So I've seen it go from a player that's not playing, taking that player, this is in the NBA as a pro, taking that player and working with them every day, because when the head coach isn't playing you, you kind of feel like no one believes you.
Your confidence is shattered,
And so,
or it's shook.
right. And so, what is the remedy? Let's not talk about the problem. Let's be productive, right? Let's get in this gym. And I'll tell them your number's going to be called, right? Why don't we focus on the night that your number is called? Will you be ready? That's what we're going to work on. So, this is the preparation again. The three C's are this: the powers that we have and the powers that we control, okay, are what we need to tap into, use, and no one else can control this, only if we let it. The first C is commitment.
Commitment.
Yeah. We can always control the level of commitment we give to something. We can always control that. Whatever you want to do, your level of commitment can be determined by you, right? And no one can control that unless you ignorantly give them that control. Okay. That's a superpower of ours. We control the commitment. Okay. The
Okay.
second C is confidence, right?
We just got finished talking about that.
Yes, confidence. When you prepare and you put the work in, you will see, whether big or small, you will see jumps. You will see improvement, and you
It's
will see
it,
you.
it
You know what I mean?
it's like you said when you all were standing on the free throw line and you looked over and saw, oh, these dudes got their hands on their shorts. They
Oh, they're
breathing
tired.
hard.
They're
Let's
tired.
get them.
Yeah,
Let's get them.
they're tired. It's a
Cause
wrap.
you cause you've been running and you've been
Right,
preparing and you just know like, we
right,
got them. So let's
right.
turn it now. Let's turn it on them.
Right. And
Yeah.
so look at that. Like I didn't know what all that running meant, but all that running did all those previous months, right? At that moment, it gave a level of confidence that conquered the moment, right? And so when we put the work in and we prepare, our confidence gets better and we control the work we put in. Okay. So confidence is the second C.
Gotcha.
The third C is concentration.
Concentration.
Yeah. Yeah. Focus on what it is, the big picture, right? What is the goal? You have the daily goal, you have the morning goal, you have the weekly goal, or whatever that is. You concentrate on that in a consistent way, every day, all day. And you control that. And once we do that, once we buy into that and we start to use those powers, right? We get to a place where what's manifested, right, is done in a way that you look up and you say, all the things that were against me, all the things that were opposed to me doing what I wanted to do, had no control over these three C's. I control that, and I'm going to get better at something if I control, use, and improve and tap into these three C's. The toughest player to play against is a player that has relaxed focus.
Ooh, relaxed focus. So you talking about somebody like you've seen before, like you just got finished talking about Kobe Bryant.
You can't rattle him. You can't rattle him.
There's that I don't know who this player was, but he tried to throw the ball at Kobe in the inbound, and Kobe didn't flinch. I forget who it was. Oh man, but I've seen it as a meme. Like, I'm not flinching. I got you. I'm here. I'm focused. Like, you ain't gonna get past me.
Yeah,
Wow.
relaxed focus. But to get there, right, you're gonna go through some ups and downs. You know, like nothing. It just does not come easily, right? If you're gonna. There has to be some turbulence, right? And once you get through that turbulence, you have a new respect level for what it is you're doing because this stuff is delicate, man. It's delicate.
It's like the failures that you've gone through have now, once you've come back from it, it has really strengthened you. So you had to go through something in order for you to get to this point.
And it's not a game.
Oh,
It's not a game.
who when you've been in a player development position, and if you can mention them, who do you remember that suffered from this, or just didn't have that that extra ingredient, and that you were able to talk to them about the three C's or something that you have imparted upon them, and then you saw them turn from where they were to where they are now, or when they just exploded on the scene. Who was that for you? Who
I'll
took that to
use
heart?
I'll use one example. So Anthony Tolliver is a league veteran. He's been in the league for a minute. Now, Anthony Tolliver, so if you're not familiar with the league, you may not know who he is, or you may. Doesn't matter. Okay. He's a believer. That's my brother. Awesome family man. Right. And there was a time where he wasn't playing, and we just got in the gym. We got in the gym on the road. We got on the gym while we were in Sacramento. Right. And then he started playing again. See, because it's like it hurts while it's going on. And when it hits you initially, it hurts because you're like, okay, you want to pay me just to be here, okay, that's fine. But it's not fine, right? I'm here to express myself as a basketball player. Basketball is a show-off sport. You get out there to show your stuff. That's what basketball is. And that's like an underlying layer of the athlete. You know what I mean? You can shoot. You're gonna look for every opportunity to show the whole world you can shoot.
Especially
And
when you're hitting.
come on, man. You're going for it. You know what I mean? That's what basketball is,
Right.
right? And so, you know, we went through it, but eventually he got back out there on that court. He started getting his minutes back, and we never talked about that again. We never talked about that again. And that's just one example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
guys, no matter the level, right? When you're vulnerable or you're hit with something that you're not used to or that's different from you, right? All you need is a friend to be there, even if it's just a dialogue, to talk to you about that situation or to, be in the gym with you and you work out like those workouts, right? That like if you didn't play in a game and you work out after the game, you'll probably sleep better that night, you know? Um, you might not be as happy, but you'll sleep better, right?
Because
There's
you put that
something
because you put that work in.
and that's the three C's. That's commitment, that's concentration, that's confidence. You were able to get there. through that post game workout that you didn't play in.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to express those superpowers. You need to, this is about expression, right? It won't hurt as bad,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
And
that's powerful, man.
I mean, even as a player and you are playing 30 minutes a game, you're going to have bad games. And so what you
That's just the way it is.
part of it,
Yeah.
but your commitment isn't shaken. Your confidence isn't shaken and your concentration isn't shaken. It's probably taken a, up a level because that next game, that's when you whoop somebody.
We saw that in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw that in the finals.
Yeah.
Steph had a lousy game. He couldn't hit
But
the side of a barn.
did you see after the game, like the cameras on him, and he did a gesture, something like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay.
Hey, in Chicago, we got this thing where, all right, when we know somebody is on us, or you done crossed that line, our famous line is, oh, okay,
That's it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bet. I'm coming.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm coming back for you. Now you done opened up. Now you done opened it up. Now, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Ah,
It was, but see, a lot of people like at Morehouse didn't know that. You know, people, I met a lot of people and people think they know the story. They don't know the story,
mm-hmm.
right? All they saw all they saw is what they saw or heard what they heard. They have no idea about the I don't want to say emotional side of it, but the mental shifts that went on during that time, you
That's
know?
that's why I share with you, man. What I've talked about here on my show. Most folks didn't know my story, man. They had an impression of one thing, and I had to reveal something completely else. I'm glad that you just took in the time today to talk about it, man, because we all have a persona, but many people don't understand the structure and the forms and the stability that had to come from the trials and the tribulations, from the failures, from the doors being closed, from the dark moments of feeling like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. Nobody cares. Or there's nothing that this is for me. And then to come back out of it on the other side, man, and to be grateful for the process of how you got here.
Yeah.
That's the key. To be
Yeah.
grateful of the process that got you to this point.
Yeah.
And Larry, you are an epitome of that. I'm
Well,
gonna give you your flowers while you're here, bruh. I mean, for real.
I
I mean,
appreciate
yeah,
you.
man. Cause the like I said, man, at the beginning, man, I'm as much as a good friend as I am, man. I sit back and I admire you because I know that none of it was easy, and it came with some trials and tribulations, and it came with some, because I have my own, and when you can talk to people and understand their story, then you begin to understand why they move in a certain way, why they talk in a certain way, why their response is, nah, I'm going to take this turn instead of going that direction with you. I'm going to do this instead of going here.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we're in a mental space that we don't know we're in. Like people took me more serious as a basketball player than I took myself for a while. Right. But when I took myself more serious than they took me, that's when the envelope started to open up a little bit. But mentally I had to catch up to that. That's what I mean, mentally being ready. You know, you understand you do have some power and you do have some talent that hasn't come out yet. And let's work to get that talent out. Let's commit to it. Let's get some confidence here, right? Let's concentrate on this for real. Let other stuff go. Let it go. You know?
Man, I smile, man, because you make me happy, brother. Because I know you, man, and love the journey, bro. Love the journey. If there's one thing that you could tell somebody who's listening to this, man, to be kind of like your something that you want them to never forget, what would that be?
I always say that when the door looks closed, don't believe it. Do what you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have a genuine affection for people. You know, like we're all trying to make things happen for ourselves, for our families, and sometimes we don't speak the language, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but like when you're genuine about a conversation, or um, when someone may need something from you, um, or when you speak to someone that may not be able to do something for you, that's important, right? That's important, you know, because you never know, right? Another thing that I encourage young people to do is when they have a goal, do something every day to get closer to that goal. It's like your goal is at the end of this long chain link, this long chain. And every day you have a chance to add a link to that chain, and just keep adding links to that chain until you get to that destination. And then when you get to that destination, right, share something.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, my very, very good friend, I introduced and hope you all enjoyed talking with my man, Larry Lewis. Appreciate you, bruh.
I appreciate it, man. It's all love, love
Hey,
again.
man.
You
And,
know,
and, and as we always say, man, just please continue to keep checking us out on You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. And like I said, man, You Too Near Me Not to Hear Me. Y'all done heard it from my man. Better get your 3 C's, that commitment, that confidence, and that concentration. And get your relaxed focus. Get your focus, man.
dangerous.
That's it, man. Appreciate you, Larry.
All right, my
And,
brother.
and we out.
All right.